Now let's look at creating a display campaign in Google Ads. So in our campaigns menu over on the left hand side, we press our new button and then choose a new campaign. At the top we do have these goal settings, which does help us decide what type of campaign we may want. So we can see for sales, it's search display shopping, leads, it's search display shopping video, traffic, it's search display shopping video, brand consideration is display and video, awareness is display and video, app promotion is universal app. But if we know what kind of campaign we want, we don't need these guides. We can just click on the create a campaign without guidance, and then we're presented with, do we want search, display, shopping, video, or universal app? We are going to create a display campaign. We're then presented with three options. Do we want a standard display campaign, smart display, or Gmail campaign? These are the ads that show only within Gmail. So a smart display campaign is useful because it optimizes your ads, your bidding, and your targeting. You click on this and you pretty much let Google decide how and when to run your campaign. But we're going to take a little bit more of a granular and choice driven option and choose the standard display campaign. We can, if we want, enter our business website, but it's not necessary. This will just give us some ideas for how to target our campaign, but we're just going to continue. So our standard activity here is we must name our campaign, then choose our location, language, and different things. Always recommend naming your campaign something intuitive and include the fact that it's a display campaign in the campaign name, so you can quickly visually identify your display campaigns from your search campaigns and from your video campaigns. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've named it something sensible, GDN, Digital Marketing Awareness, because we are going to drive awareness of our digital marketing courses on the Google Display Network. So GDN is Google Display Network. It's in the campaign name, so we can very quickly identify this as a display campaign and report on it differently than our search campaigns and indeed our shopping or video campaigns too. So the first thing we need to do is set our location. So where do we want to target? And we can just enter a location in here if we want. So we can maybe want to target London, and then that will pull up the menu. We can choose to either target London or exclude London. So let's target London. There's also some advanced search features here. If we click in on this, and obviously it pulls up a map there, and we can target the location or we can target a radius, which means an area around London. We may do 20 miles, we may do 20 kilometers, whatever it may be. And we can choose just to target that radius around the London area. Maybe we'll do 50 kilometers. So we've set our location, and then we can choose our language, which will be the language that our customers speak. So that will be English. Next up in the bidding, we're going to choose from a number of different options here. We can look at conversions, conversion value, clicks, or viewable impressions. So if we want to manually set bids where we choose how much we're willing to pay for a conversion, we can click in on that, and we may want to choose maybe a cost per click if we want to drive a little bit of traffic. So we're going to pay for clicks, and we're going to manually set the bids, and we will do this on the ad group level. So we've set our daily budget in at say €5 a day. Delivery method, again, we have two options here, standard and accelerated. Always better off choosing standard for any display or video campaigns, because accelerated delivery for display and video can really blow your budget and totally go way over your daily spend. So be very careful with that. Stick to standard, it's much better for display and video. And then we need to choose how we're going to target people. So we do this in our targeting group, which is essentially our ad group. An ad group is a targeting group, whether it's a list of keywords for search or whether it's an audience or content type for display and video. An ad group is a targeting group. So we're not going to name it just yet. We are going to choose who and how we want to target. So we can either choose targeting people, where we choose certain audience groups, or we choose demographics like their age, their gender, their status, their income, or we can choose the content that they're on. So we have three different content options here. We've got keywords, topics, and placements. So keywords would be, we put a list of keywords in here, and if our keyword appears beside an article in a newspaper or on a blog, our ad is likely to show. So we're doing a digital marketing awareness campaign. So say there was an article on digital marketing courses or digital marketing predictions. Our ad is likely to show beside that article because we've chosen the keyword digital marketing for our targeting type. Topics are also, you can choose a number of topics. The group the website identifies itself as. So if the website identifies itself as a news website, you can choose news topics if that's what you want to show beside. If it's an education website, you can choose education topics. And if there's specific placements that you want to target, so if there's actually just a website you want to target, like theguardian.co.uk or the New York Times or Mashable or TechCrunch, or if there's a particular website, you can just go into placements. So that's your option there. And you've got your three different areas: keywords, topics, and placements. But we're going to choose an audience. We're going to choose to target people, not the content that they're on. Because people show an interest in certain ideas, certain products, whereas content, it's more speculation. Anyone could be on that content. They may not have an interest in it. They may just be browsing it loosely. So we want to target people because they have an interest in things. Our three different areas that we can choose from are what their interests are, what they're actively researching, or if they've interacted with us before. So this is remarketing. If we want to remarket to people who have been on our website before, we do it in here. If we want to target people because based on their search history, they are likely to make a purchase, we can choose an in-market audience. And if we just want to target a group of people based on what they're interested in, we can go in there. So we'll just have a look at all three of these and just see what's available to us. So within interests and affinity, we can see people that are maybe interested in, let's say, business and marketing. And that pulls up a number of different options that we can choose from that fall within the business and marketing category. So we can choose social media enthusiasts, business professionals, banking and finance, business travelers, and then we've got some luxury shoppers. Now these are more loosely based to what I've typed in here, but again, it gives you some ideas of the type of people that you can target in the affinity section. So we'll quickly go back and look at the other targeting options, and they are, if they're researching, so these are people that have an active interest in our product or in certain product groups. So we can just expand our in-market audiences, and we may find, again, using the search filter, so these are people who have been actively searching for education products. So we can look at education or technology education, business education. So these are people who have been looking around for these particular areas, and Google reckons that based on their search history, they're on the cusp. They are likely to make a purchase or take action very soon. So they're in the market for that particular product. So let's just pick business education. If we wanted to do a retargeting list, we can click in here, and then we will have our website visitors, and that will show a list of all our retargeting options available to us. So we've got people who convert, visit, and then all of the different options available to us there in terms of who's been on our website before. But let's just quickly go back to where we were to set our ad group name. So at the moment we have one list selected. It is the business education in market audience. So we are just going to quickly highlight that and literally just copy it. I'm going to go back up to ad group name and simply rename your ad group after your targeting type. So now you know that this ad group targets business education in market audiences. And when we see that in our targeting list, in our ad group list, we're able to, this particular audience group is working quite well. So we might want to increase the bids on it, or maybe do some new ads, or apply some additional resources to enhancing how this particular target group is performing. So always name your ad group after your targeting type. In an ideal world, you should just have one target type per ad group. Now you can double up, but that's more advanced. So for the beginning, just do one target group per ad group and name the ad group after your target group like we've just done there. Next up, we need to set our bid. So we've entered a maximum CPC bid and maybe we'll put it in at like 22 cents. Then there's some automation features here. Better off leaving it on conservative automation to begin with, and then if you see the campaign performing quite well, you can up it to aggressive, or indeed if you don't want to use any at all, you can do that there. Following on from this, you have to create your ad, and we do this by just pressing the plus add button, and we can create more ads later, but let's just create it from here. We have three options here. We can create a responsive display ad, we can upload our banners which we have made ourselves or got designers to make, or we can copy ads that we've already used on the Google Display Network. So let's create a new responsive ad. So this brings up the responsive ad creator, where we have a number of fields to complete, including our final URL landing page, a number of headlines, a long headline, a number of descriptions, our business name. Then we can toggle between how it looks on desktop and mobile. Let's just fill those in. Now once we've entered all of our copy details, we can see some ad previews here on the right hand side, and we can toggle between the different ones, but we may want to include some images, so let's go ahead and do that. We can add some assets by clicking on the add images and logo button here. And when we do this, and this pulls up our different options here, so we can scan the website, we can upload some images, we can use some stock images, some images we've used before, or anything that we've just uploaded. So it just scans my website there, and we're able to just take a selection of potential images from our own websites or our own asset bank and quickly create an ad on the Google Display Network. So let's choose our logo here, and we'll select this as the logo, and then we have to set our crops. So let's remove this. We don't want that because it crops it awkwardly. Let's just go with this one, and we'll continue. Now let's choose our image. Let's choose this image here, and we could choose to use it as our image. So we can set our crop here by dragging this up and just having more of the image there, and then moving this across so it fits more appropriately within the square one-to-one image aspect. And once we've set our crops, we can continue and then save. Now as you can see, we've got our ads up here in our assets area, and then we'll see a preview of how our ad looks on a mobile device there, and it will show different variations of how the ad may look, because we've got a number of different headlines, we've got a number of different descriptions all in there, and you can see it's shaping and changing and showing us different variations of the same ad in different placements with different layouts. What Google will do is try and optimize which is the best performing headline combination, which is the best performing description combination to serve the ads that will be most effective to your audience. And again, up the top, we can look at what it looks like on a desktop, as well as YouTube, which we can click and have a look and see what it looks like there on a mobile device, and indeed on Gmail on a mobile device as well. So we get a good idea of how this ad that we've created in the interface will look across the different channels. And this is how the ad looks in Gmail on a mobile device. Now let's look at some desktop variations. And these are some standard ad sizes for the Google Display Network on a desktop. You've got your leaderboard, MPU, you've got a smaller banner there, a skyscraper, and then text only MPU. Then if we look to YouTube, we can see what it looks like there. So again, we've got a leaderboard and an MPU for YouTube, and then a Gmail ad itself. So let's have a look at that too. So in Gmail, we have our small banner here. When we click it, it expands into this bigger thing where we can visit our site as a result. Then you may notice down the side here, we've gotten a view of what, based on our inputs at the start for bids and budgets, we can expect to reach in terms of impressions, number of clicks, CPC, broadly the CTR based on those 12,000 to 48,000 impressions. So when we're happy with our ads, with our bids, with our budgets, with our targeting, we can create the campaign, and that will launch live on the Google Display Network, and we'll be able to drive traffic and brand awareness from our campaign using display activity. Again, video is exactly the same as display setup, except Instead of it being banners as your ad format, you're going to use pre-roll videos on YouTube or on partner sites too. So audience targeting is still the same. Bids, budgets, all of that stuff is still exactly the same. With the display campaigns, you play on a CPM, which is cost per thousand impressions, or CPC basis, while on YouTube or on video ads, you pay on a cost per view basis. But outside of that, everything else is pretty much exactly the same.